Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Great to be here. I want to get to Russia's cyber hacking our colonial pipeline, which could put the whole electric power grid at risk up and down the East Coast. It's a potentially huge issue, and we're going to get to it with the expert of experts, former Energy Secretary Dan Brouillette, in just a few moments. But I just want to begin with another subject. Please stay with me for a moment or two. This afternoon, my great pal Charles Payne had me on his show, delightful. And Charles was very upset about the Kentucky Derby Medina Spirit being doped up according to Kentucky Derby rules. Now, Charles asked me what I thought of it. I said, frankly, I didn't know a thing about it, really. I'm willing to bet on Bob Baffert, who completely denied it on Fox News this morning. Take a listen.
Not happen.
Oh, this did not happen. That horse has never been treated with that, and it's a legal therapeutic medicine, and the amount that was in it wouldn't have any effect on the horse anyway. But that horse was never treated with that, and so that's the disturbing part of it.
But you're here to say that Bob Baffert's team did not cheat to win the Kentucky Derby.
We did not cheat to win the Kentucky Derby.
So, look, I'm willing to believe him. I hope he's right. I don't know, actually. But then Charles Payne asked me about the demise of American institutions, which may or may not have anything to do with the Kentucky Derby, but it's a very serious question. And I want to repeat the gist of what I told my very good friend. Here it is. Crazy people on the far left have consistently tried to undermine and destroy America's great institutions. Okay? The worst of that lot, surely the left-wing media, which trumpets the crazy lefties and all their crazy opinions, does it all the time. Now, personally, I think Americans really still love the U.S. military and our police force, no matter what the crazies say. But between critical race theory, cancel culture, systemic racism, and the end of history, the left is trying to do great damage to our institutions, including, by the way, intimidating juries when it comes to police trials. Now, there's another one. When the term systemic racism came into play last year, the most important thing the radicals were really saying is the systemic part, okay? I know there's some bad apples out there with regard to racism. I understand that. But as Senator Tim Scott told us last week or 10 days ago, America is not a racist country, and he is right. But those folks on the far left who insist that America is a bad place are trying to tear down our system. That's why they talk about systemic racism. And they'll do anything, like packing the Supreme Court, intimidating juries, ending the filibuster, defunding the police, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because what they really want to do is transform this country from the greatest and most prosperous democracy in the history of history into some kind of socialist, command and control, autocratic country that would presumably support their left-wing ideological whims. That's why Charles Payne's question is so important. There is a group of folks out there who are determined to destroy our institutions, free speech, democracy, free enterprise, equal opportunity, public safety, a strong military. That's the systemic part. Like a long stone's throw from the Kentucky Derby. Doesn't really seem, but sometimes stone throwing can be very accurate, and that's why I'm raising it this evening. Virtually all last week on the air, I repeatedly touted and read and reread and supported Senator Tim Scott's brilliant rebuttal to Joe Biden's State of the Union speech. Mr. Scott proclaimed loudly that America is not a racist country, and he hit the Biden left hard. He knocked the wind out of them. He put them back on their heels. They didn't know how to answer. Clearly, that was the best speech since the election, and it may go down as an historic speech. He and others, Tim Scott and others, including Ben Carson, are fighting the good fight to stop the far left from destroying this country. Its rule of law, its Constitution, its Declaration of Independence, its strong military, its emphasis on policing and jury trials. What Tim Scott said the other day to those who want to bust up America's institutions and its values and its history was a great big no. Standing athwart history, he's saying no. I don't know who's right or wrong about the Kentucky Derby. That's me. But I know Tim Scott is absolutely spot on, right, and correct, and he deserves all our support in what may be the greatest fight this country has ever waged. Remember again, this business about systemic racism, which Scott says is not true, thankfully, I agree. It's the word systemic that's so bad. Systemic means bring down our system and our institutions. And folks, while we can always do better, the fact is, I don't want to transform this country into some kind of flatline, left-wing, socialist command and control, central planning, anti-democratic autocracy. No. I say no. Has nothing to do with the Kentucky Derby. Or maybe it does.